of always doing the wrong thing. That's why I can't make relationships work. Even though now I know what the key is to a relationship for a guy. The key is to make sure that her friends like you, which is so much harder than it sounds. My last girlfriend, her friends despised me. So what she did, right, is constantly arrange these excursions, these little outings and trips that I'd go on with her friends, and by the end of the evening, we'd all be best mates. They were a nightmare. The worst one occurred, right, when my girlfriend booked tickets to go and see a concert in London with one of her friends. I arrived at the concert, and there was one tiny, weeny little piece of information that she'd failed to pass on to me about the friend in question. Not a big deal, I just thought it's the kind of shit you might slip into conversation. Because her friend that was waiting for me at the entrance of this concert was a dwarf. Which is fine, I have nothing against dwarves, I think they're great. The problem is, I would have liked to have been given a little bit of prior warning, because it turns out a concert is a very hard environment to be at with a dwarf. You've been to concerts before, you know what it's like. It's very hard to keep track of your friends. There's thousands of people there. It's even harder to keep track of your friends when they only come up to your knee. What exacerbated this situation as well is that Matt was on his night out. He wanted to enjoy himself. He was having a couple of drinks. Problem is, when a dwarf drinks, there's not a lot of place for the alcohol to go. He was absolutely steaming rat-ass drunk by about 9 o'clock, tearing around this concert like a pissed-up toddler. And I kept losing him. And every time I lost track of this dwarf, my girlfriend got annoyed at me. She was like, why do you keep losing him? You keep losing him because you don't like him, and you don't like him because you don't like me. I'm like, seriously, what do you want me to do? There are thousands of people here. It's very hard to keep track of him. Do you want me to chain him to the bloody radiator? Would you like that? Or maybe I could hold his hand. Is that what you like, me to hold his hand? So I'm stood at the bar holding his hand. And he announces that he needs to go to the loo. It's like, Jack, I need a piss. It's like, fine, off we go. Found the toilets. I went in, started having a wee. I don't know why they're sniggering at this bit, madam. It's not the funny bit. You're actually giving me a bit of a complex. They call it the truth. Because the truth hurts. They don't. No one's ever called it that. It's a little white lie. And there... It's all right, Tony, not the only one with a nickname, the donkey. I'm there, and I'm very conscious that Matt, thank you, that Matt is stood behind me, just staring at me, not saying anything. And then he goes, Jack, I need a hand. I look round, I realise all of the cubicles behind him are occupied. There is a queue winding out back into the concert. It means that the only way that Matt the dwarf can go to the toilet is if I assist him in utilising one of the urinals. Well, what could I do? We were meant to be bonding. I couldn't exactly say no. I go over. Matt unbuckles his little dwarfy trousers. They weren't dwarfy trousers, they were just normal trousers. Maybe baby gap or whatever. He takes them down. I then have to hoist him up underneath his arms, hold him out in front of the urinal, and he starts taking a piss. And as soon as I've committed to this Good Samaritan act of kindness, I think, how the hell have I found myself in this situation? And it's so heavy as well. And all I'm thinking is, I don't want to look, I don't want to look, I don't want to look. That's a complete lie. All I wanted to do was have a look. Not in a creepy way, I just wanted to see whether everything was in proportion. It wasn't, it was absolutely enormous. Like a third leg dangling down. And then I'm holding him, right? And it's taking forever as well. This is the longest piss ever. How so much liquid could fit into something this small? The physics of it don't even make any sense. We get to the end, right, of his wee, and he looks over his shoulder and he goes, Jack, I've finished. Now, what he meant by Jack, I finished, is put me down, I'll do up my trousers, leave the toilet, and we can pretend that this shit never happened. But because I wasn't exactly in my comfort zone, having never found myself in this predicament before, and dare I say it, I'd maybe had one too many a drink that evening, when he said, I finished, what I genuinely thought he meant is what all men mean when they've finished going for a wee. That he needed a little shake. He wriggles free out of my arms, he storms out of this toilet, tells on me to my girlfriend, girlfriend, and she gets annoyed at me. She's like, you shook him? Why did you shake him? I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't want the etiquette is for drying a dwarf's massive dick after he's been for a piss. Let me know next time. I'll put him through the Dyson Airblade if that's what he wants. So that's why she's my ex-girlfriend.